It's time to kick off spooky season here at Old Mountain Bricks, and what better way to start up spooky season than by building the Mystery Machine, an iconic vehicle from pop culture there. This is set number 75902, containing 301 pieces. This set was released in 2015. I can't believe it's already 10 years old. This is a retired set, new in box, and we're going to open it up here for you today on the channel. The set comes with 3 minifigures in Scooby-Doo. The back of the box shows some of the other play features with the Mystery Machine, that you're able to build a sandwich, the evil tree, and a few other fun things within. So we're going to open this up today. I'll give you my thoughts on the build process and then on the set overall. Let's get started.
Now this set is from before LEGO started doing thumb tabs on the box, so there are the little tape pieces, so we cut open the box, and inside you will find plastic bags, of course. There are 3 individually numbered plastic bags, 2 instruction manuals, and a medium-sized sticker sheet. As we dump out the pieces, I've been really looking forward to this one for spooky season, so I'm excited to get started with the build. As we get started, the first thing you build is, of course, the Mystery Machine itself. It starts off pretty standard with like a normal base. No Technic inside I thought was interesting, so it is all system built, so I always appreciate that type of build. So you kind of put the gray chassis together, and then there's a lot of this like neon green color, and then you start doing all this like aqua color. So it's a classic looking Mystery Machine, and it goes together like any other like Lego City car. Just a bit more bricks as it's built up and pretty tall, which I'll show you in just a little bit. But it goes together pretty quickly. It has a nice windscreen. We then build the little side part and the roof that has this like tree character, which we'll take a look at. But overall, I really enjoyed this build. It didn't have any complicated build techniques, so it went together pretty quickly. But let's go ahead and finish it up and take a look at it.
Alright, and here is the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine. So this was a fun build. Of course, the main thing you build is the Mystery Machine. You also build this little tree character thing, and it comes with some nice minifigures, which we'll take a look at in just a second. But let's start with the van. So this is definitely a sticker machine. There are some exclusive prints with it. Anything that's round is a print, so like this dish right up here, and then the little things on the tires that don't really spin very well, but you know, that's fine. Everything else, again, is a sticker. The thing I dislike about this set the most, just right off the bat, is that this piece right here is a sticker. It's actually 2 stickers because the idea is you're able to open up and get inside the van, which we'll look at in a second. I've seen a lot of these where it's really hard to line up the stickers. I did my absolute best and it still doesn't look great. So that's a little disappointing with this. Again, this set is 10 years old now, so hopefully if they were to do something like this again, that would at least be a print like they did these other pieces there. But just kind of circling around, it is kind of just the classic Mystery Machine with like the flowers and everything. Stickers again on the other side. There is quite a bit of room in here as well. The back of the van can open up again like we were just looking at there, by having some nice sticker details there. And you can kind of have access to that. But again, I feel like it's an unnecessary feature because you can, of course, take off the top as well and then have access to it. So I don't know, being able to do this was completely necessary in order to have access to everything, but it does make it a little easier. But looking on the inside, there's a few little Easter eggs and stickers all around, like these little computer panels, a little cassette tape back there. This is a giant sandwich, of course, for Shaggy and Scooby, which you can store there. And again, like a camera, a flashlight, a little stove, and a sink. Here's the other side with like a little map sticker. Underside, nothing too complex there, but it easily goes back together. You can just put this right back on there and everything just lines up real nice. Just to give you a sense of scale, here's kind of like your average city vehicle. So it's not too wide, but it is a very tall vehicle compared to what we normally get for some of like the Lego City line. But I think it looks great. It's an iconic vehicle, so I'm excited to have this to be rolling around our Lego City here soon. Other side build is this little tree character. This is a big sticker right up front as well, and it's on these little ball joints. And right behind here, you can see there's a little ruby and a little computer type thing showing that it's, you know, not a real monster or something like that. This is also where you put like the zombie minifigure. He's kind of controlling it or something. That's pretty cool. It feels a little unnecessary for this particular set, but I know that was pretty common in some of the other Scooby-Doo sets that came out at the time. Because here's just a quick look at all the Scooby-Doo sets that came out around that same time there, all with kind of different styles and minifigures that came with them. Of course, Velma being the rarest one. Here's the leftover pieces on this set, just a few smalls. And here's a look at the minifigures all together. Of course, it comes with Shaggy, Scooby-Doo, Fred, and a zombie. Of course, you can see some of the accessories they come with as well. But Shaggy is pretty neat. The main thing, of course, he does have some dual-molded arms, which are pretty cool for this type of set there. No printing on the legs or anything, but I think it gets the job done. I believe it has a unique hair mold for him, which is kind of like the iconic, version of Shaggy. He does have another like frowny face on the back, which is kind of interesting. I don't know why they don't just have like another like scary face or something, but this is a nice version of Shaggy. I think we get a couple different ones, but this is definitely the best one. And he has a sandwich that's basically half his body. Next up, we'll do Fred here, of course, just in his classic outfit, and I think it looks pretty good. It doesn't really need too much. He's got his little ascot, he's got a magnifying glass, and this nice print piece that comes with the set, which I believe is exclusive, that talks about the tree. It says the Daily Blabber tree comes to life, so it's exclusive to this set. So I'm glad they at least did this, so that's pretty cool. Otherwise, Fred is pretty plain, but that's okay in this type of set, I think. Fred does have the reversible face that does have like the screaming face on it. Next up, we've got a pretty standard zombie here. Nothing too crazy. I love like the greenish skin color, of course, makes it unique. I like the back of the head has some printing, like two little buttons, kind of like for his mask or something like that. But just makes it a very fun Scooby-Doo inclusion. And of course, the star of the show, Scooby-Doo, is pretty neat here. It is two pieces. You can behead Scooby and kind of have just his body and his head there, so that allows his head to kind of rotate around a little bit, which is nice. You can see this version of Scooby has like his teeth kind of showing on the edge here, like he's like shaking or something, and then kind of like your average Scooby on the side there, and he does have nice printing for his collar and everything. But this is a really nice, I don't know if you want to call it a minifigure, but a nice figure for Lego to make, but a pretty nice version of Scooby-Doo for sure. You can then load up part of the gang there with Fred driving, Shaggy in the passenger, and Scooby is poking through there. It's a little hard to see when you put the roof on, but they do have those studs back there so you can see, yeah, right there. So Scooby does have a way to kind of pop through, so that's pretty nice. It would be hard to get the entire gang in there and put Velma and Daphne, but I think for our purposes, this looks pretty good. We put the little zombie back on his little tree friend over there. So some final thoughts on the set. It's a pretty simple set. I really enjoyed building it there with 301 pieces. It originally retailed for 30. I believe I picked it up for like 50 or so, a few years after it retired there. So not too bad, and I really enjoyed this. Again, it's just an iconic piece of like pop culture and everything, so I think it's going to stand out in our Lego city, and that's why I wanted to get this particular set as opposed to maybe some of the other Scooby-Doo sets that are available out there. But I think it's pretty good. It feels like there's a little too many stickers, but it does add the right amount of detail there for me, so I'm overall okay with it. But that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Mystery Machine. We've also got some more spooky season content coming out, so make sure you stay tuned for that, as we're going to be doing like a haunted house and the Nightmare Before Christmas and a few other fun sets, so make sure you don't miss out on that. Subscribe to Old Mountain Bricks so you don't miss the next Lego City update, where we find a place for all these folks somewhere in our Lego City. And until next time, thanks for coming on by today. Scooby-Dooby-Doo!